Hey guys, so welcome to Harry Runs. I've got a quick video for you today. 10 quick tips, 10 of the best tips I can really think of from my experience as a marathon runner for getting yourself ready for your first marathon, or maybe it'll be your second or your third marathon. Maybe you could add some of these tips, some of these ideas into your training plan to really complement your training and get the most out of yourself leading up to your first marathon. Or as I said, if you're a returning marathon runner, maybe there's a few ideas in here that you haven't thought about before that can really help you get on your way. So just to give you a bit of background on myself, I'm a marathon runner myself. I also do ultra-trail marathons, so that's anything above a marathon, but my marathon PR is 2:31 at the moment. I'm pretty confident I can get that faster in future years, and these are some of the ways I'm going to do it, and hopefully they'll help you too. So the first tip I've got, guys, is get yourself a coach, get yourself a structured plan. You really need to kind of lay out what your route map is going to be almost to your first marathon. If you get yourself a coach, it's someone who can guide you, someone with the information, the ideas, and really someone that can be in the background just to make sure that you're not doing too much, you're not doing too little, and to make sure you're training the right sessions, the right intensity to really get you there on the start line safe, injury free, and ready for action. Obviously making sure that you've got a plan as well. Make sure that when it comes to the end of that training session, when it comes close to the race, maybe 2 weeks out, a month out from the race, you're not freaking out, you're not feeling like you've done too little, you're not feeling like you've done too much. Make sure you're really in that sweet spot so you're peaked, you're ready for the race, and you can optimize on your fitness by taking a good taper and a good rest, and make sure that you're ready on the start line and you're not freaking out trying to get too many miles in, too many long runs in, too close to the race. So make sure that you have a plan. Step number 2, guys, I would say run easy. So maybe at the moment you run too hard. Maybe if you're a 5k runner, you're a 10k runner, you really need to learn what an easy run is. If you're running for a marathon is 99% aerobic, so you need to make sure that on your easy runs you're truly running easy. So what that can really mean, guys, is making sure you're running within the zone 2 heart rate level, so you're not letting your heart rate spike too much within a long run. Or it can simply mean if you're not using heart rate, just be mindful of yourself. Make sure you're running at a pace which you could consider conversational. So if you're running with a friend, you could talk to them the whole time. Make sure it feels comfortable, you feel relaxed. You're really allowing your body in all sorts of different ways, so making sure your muscles, your bones, your joints, your lungs, your blood, making sure it's all adapting, all evolving to being a more efficient runner at these longer distances. It means you can run further, and it means eventually you can run further and faster than you've ever ran before. So tip number 3 is make sure you're doing a range of sessions, especially if you're a newer runner. So this doesn't mean just going full pelt into everything. It doesn't mean trying to do everything in consecutive days. It just means maybe in some weeks have an interval session in there, maybe have some hard strides. Definitely make sure you get some tempo runs into your workouts. Tempo runs are sometimes considered as a marathon runner's best friends, so definitely look into those and get those into your training plan. And obviously the most important aspect of any training program as well is making sure you get the long runs in there. So long runs obviously crucially important because they are almost the main kind of beneficial training session that's really going to prepare you mentally, physically for the marathon effort, which is 26.2 miles. You need to make sure that you're building up to that and you have some sort of experience, some sort of idea of what that feels like, so when it comes to race day you're not in complete shock when it comes to the 20-mile mark. You don't want to hit that wall, you want to be prepared, you want to be ready for it. The next tip is make sure that you set realistic goals. So we all want to run a Boston qualifier, maybe we all want to go sub 3 hours, we all have these amazing pipe dreams maybe for the marathon, and I'm sure many of you guys could achieve them if you have the right plan, if you have the right structure. But making sure that your goals are realistic and aligned with where your fitness is at the moment is really important. Just because you want to go sub 3 hours doesn't mean it's going to happen in your first marathon, doesn't mean it's going to happen in your second marathon, but it doesn't mean that you can't achieve it at all. So make sure that your goals are definitely aligned with the fitness that you have right now, the time frame that you have available to train for the marathon. Maybe if you're training for a marathon a year from now, your goals are going to change, your times, your idea of your fitness is obviously going to change over that time. But make sure that if you are giving yourself a traditional maybe 16 weeks or 20 weeks until the marathon, be realistic and really talk over this with your coach, with a friend perhaps, to really make sure that your goals are realistic and you're not just overshooting the mark the whole time trying to do too much. Next tip I have, guys, is practice. So practice a race situation, practice your race pace that you're aiming for, and practice eating and drinking on the run as well. So if you're new to marathons, this is probably something that's very new to you. The idea of eating food or drinking within a run might be very different. So make sure that on your longer runs, you're practicing maybe with gels, maybe you're practicing with dried fruit, whatever it is you feel more comfortable with eating within the marathon race. You need to make sure that you're eating something, getting some calories in to help give you some extra energy to make sure you're not going to hit the wall within the race. So definitely practice this. Try a few different brands. Maybe if one brand doesn't work for you, of dried fruit, dates or bananas or something like that doesn't work for you, try something different. But just try it all, guys. You need to make sure that you eat something on race day to give yourself the extra boost and to get the most out of yourself within the race. Okay, next tip I've got, guys, is cross training. So if you don't do any cross training right now, I definitely recommend you try and think about adding some of that into your plan. So maybe it might just be one session, or maybe it might be a few sessions. Everyone's a bit different. Everyone can benefit in different ways from cross training, obviously depending on where your fitness lies, or maybe your background, your history. So maybe if you're a cyclist, you won't need to do too much cross training with the cycling, because maybe you've already got a lot of that benefit in your legs, a lot of that endurance. But making sure you do some sort of cross training within the plan can make sure you stay healthy, you stay injury free, and it can give you the same kind of results in terms of your aerobic system there, but obviously making sure that you're not overdoing things by doing too many running miles too soon. So it can be a really good way to boost up the volume of your training plan without doing too much on the running legs, and giving those running legs a bit of a break now and again is certainly beneficial. So it might not be every week, it might be every few weeks, or maybe you might have an easy week where you complement your training with a bit more cross training to allow yourself to recover from the pure running side of things, but at the same time keeping that fitness developing, keeping it high without letting it fall off too much. Okay, so recovery and sleep are obviously really important when it comes to this as well. So making sure you get quality sleep is you know, hand in hand with staying healthy anyway. And if you're doing something like running, if you're training for a marathon, you really need to be on top of your health. So making sure that maybe you have one day a week where you're not running, maybe it might be 2 days a week, really depends on where you lie at the moment, guys. It doesn't mean that you can't have even 3 days a week where you're not running. Maybe you can do a little bit more cross training to help with the fitness. It's really important to make sure you have some time off your legs, to make sure you're not overdoing it, and to really make sure that we're staying away from our enemy, which is the injuries. So make sure you're staying healthy, and recovery days are really important for that. And I don't just mean lounging around on the sofa all day. Going for some easy walks are fantastic, maybe just doing some swimming, or maybe just being active, just playing with the family or playing with friends is a really great way to do this. And sleep is obviously crucial, so great sleep every single day. Recommend trying to get at least 8 hours. If you can get more than this, then that's brilliant. But make sure that you're giving yourself that time for your body to reset, for your hormone levels, all these different areas, all these stress hormones that are going to be released from your training. Make sure you give them time to recover, and you need sleep to do that. So nutrition is super important. So make sure you're eating lots of fresh fruits, lots of vegetables, lots of carbohydrates, so sweet potatoes, rice, potatoes. I've got plenty of videos about this on my channel, so check them out if you haven't already, guys. Make sure you're eating a good whole food diet. Really important to give yourself all the minerals, all the vitamins, all the nutrients that you need to recover, and to recover quickly and have the energy there for your training sessions every single day. So I recommend lots of carbohydrates in there, but a good mix of everything, maybe some beans, some legumes. Make sure you're keeping it nice and whole food, and plant-based is a great way to go as well. Okay, so really think about in those last final few weeks of leading up to the race, make sure that you have some goal pace runs. So make sure that you have an idea to dial in your training and your race pace when it comes to the race. So make sure you have a plan for the race. So you're not just going into the race without a clue of what you're going on, what you're gonna do, what you're gonna run. You need to make sure you have a good idea, so when it comes to race day, you're not gonna be going off at any old pace, getting too excited, racing friends maybe, or chasing down other runners ahead of you. Make sure that you know what you want to do and stick to it. It's too easy on the start line to look around you, look at the fast runners that are there, and really get carried away thinking about what they're doing, and then when the gun goes off, going out hell for blazes. So make sure you've got a good pace, you've got an idea of what you want to set. Maybe having a GPS watch can help with that. Obviously having a GPS watch throughout your training will give you an idea of where your paces lie, but being in tune with yourself as well, making sure you recognize how you feel, even just having a stopwatch and keeping an eye on the mile markers or the kilometer markers. Make sure you're not going too fast, make sure you're not going far too slow as well, is obviously an important mark, but making sure that you are running within yourself and you have an idea of this by dialing in your running and your racing pace in training. Okay, and the last tip guys, smile. So make sure you have a good time on the day, make sure it's a celebration of all the hard work that you've put in, and really enjoy it. And make sure that when you finish the race and you cross that line, you're thinking about the next race, you're looking forward to it, you're excited, you're not crossing that line, dreading the idea of ever doing a marathon again. I'm sure you feel like that for a little while, but try and finish positively guys, think about the next race, be optimistic and be thankful for the time you've had on your feet that day, and really enjoy the experience. If there's anything that I haven't covered in this video guys, or maybe you've got a few ideas or a few things you'd like me to go into more detail with in future videos, leave them in the comments below. If you like this video guys, give it a thumbs up. It's really great to see what you guys like so I can get the best videos out to you that you're after. And make sure you subscribe if you haven't, hit that subscribe button. And if you want any personal coaching or any personal tips or advice for maybe an upcoming marathon, a 5k, a 10k, whatever your running goals are guys, get in touch with me at harryrunsuk@gmail.com. I'll be happy to get back to you. And thanks for watching guys, and happy running.